Welcome, everybody, to a very special edition of the GeekDadReport. I'm Brian West, and that's Ryan Tomlinson. And tonight, we wanted you guys to know that we're still here, and we're still thinking about you guys. Our show is currently under construction, if you haven't noticed, and we didn't want you guys to think that we weren't coming back. Honestly, we just got bored and missed you guys.
Greetings from my glorious hotel room. I'm sitting on a nice couch.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Ryan is currently doing some training for his paying job, and that is one of the reasons why the show is on hiatus right now for probably another month or so. But like we said, we did not want you guys to think that we'd forgotten about you, and to be honest, we kind of missed you. So tonight, we are only doing our From the Faithful 50 segment. So we asked you guys to give us any questions you wanted to hear from us, any answers you want to hear from us, and you guys came with it. We got a whole bunch to get through. So first of all, I'd like to say thank you. And
we only gave like an hour and a half notice, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, I guess everybody missed us. They missed hearing our voices. They missed our opinions.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. All right, well, without further ado, let's dive into this thing. First up, we got Evil Chris from Utah. He would like to know. He wants to hear our take on the... Oh, Jesus. Okay, so he wants to hear our take on the social media campaigns that have been springing up, where people want to get together and purposely rate movies badly so that it will bring down the aggregate Rotten Tomatoes score in the audience review and hurt the movies. Right now, there is one... specifically for Black Panther, there is a group of people trying to get together. I think the official Facebook page is over 2,000 people saying they're going to do it. Get together and just post bad reviews on Rotten Tomatoes to try and drag the score down. This is something that also happened most recently in The Last Jedi, and it's starting to make a lot of people think that, hey, you know what, maybe this is happening. A lot of people, DC fans, have said the same thing, that they believe this is happening for DC movies, and he wants to know what we think about it.
I think it's fucking stupid, for one thing, because what do you get out of that? What do you personally get out of
Nothing.
that? Nothing.
Honestly,
then you can be like, hey, those Marvel fuckheads.
Yeah, okay.
So dumb.
Small disclaimer, me and Ryan are both giant DC fans, so it irritates me that there are DC fanboys who are like, we're tired of Marvel being awesome, we're just going to go shit all over it, so that way it's not cool. Grow up, man. Grow up. Black Panther looks like a fantastic movie. Early reviews of this are saying it's one of the best Marvel movies ever made.
Could you pick something that wouldn't make you look so racist? I mean, you have to pick very first, like, nearly all-black cast superhero movie. That's the movie that you decided we're going to fight this
I
thing.
put this up there with all the people who, all the guys who were getting mad that were having only women only women screenings, if I could speak tonight, of Wonder Woman, and they were getting all butthurt about that. People, we can like lots of things, okay? I don't agree when Marvel people just shit all over DC stuff just because. Has DC been on par with Marvel? I've really enjoyed the DC universe. Do I think it's as good as the Marvel universe? No, not right now, but Marvel's been doing this thing for like 10 years, and they've built something, and they're just crushing it. But you don't need to shit all over somebody else's, happiness to make yourself feel better. I think this is stupid. I think if you want to put a review because you didn't like the movie and you honestly didn't like it, that is your prerogative. Go right ahead. Do whatever you want to do. But to try and get people together to just make something appear bad, so maybe somebody else who says, I wonder if this is any good, and they look and they say, well, everybody else hated it, so maybe it's not. That's just shitty, man. You are a bad person if that's what you're doing in your life.
Yeah, you are honestly a bad person. I definitely agree with that.
So... just
get a fucking life.
Don't be an asshole. Sometimes when you're like, I want to be an asshole, just don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
So, Chris, we think it's stupid, and nobody should ever do it. It's ridiculous. All right. Let's see here. Next up, we have... Oh, Jeff had a bunch of replies here. All right. So next up, we got Jeff from Washington. He wants to hear our thoughts on whether or not the Seahawks are in trouble, or if it was just an off year plagued by injuries. Ryan is a Steelers fan, so I will take this one, and I will make it quick.
Here's my quick response. Yes.
Shut up. I do not think they're in trouble. I think the Seahawks needed this purge. Honestly, they should have done it a couple years ago after our Super Bowl debacle against the Patriots. I think the message had grown stale. I think some of our coaching had become, our play calling had become predictable, and clearly our offensive line was not working. We needed some new coaches. I'm actually kind of excited about the new coaches we got. I don't think they're gonna light the league on fire with new crazy plays, but I think these guys are down and dirty football coaches, the kind of football Pete Carroll wants to play, smash mouth guys, and I think I'm excited. I think we did have an off year plagued by injuries. You cannot lose as many superstars as we did and still be successful. That being said, I think we're going to have a lot of turnover, and some of those said older superstars are going to get jettisoned for younger players. So, do I think we're going to be 13-3 next year? I don't know. We'll see. But I think this is what we needed, honestly, and I think maybe not this year. Pete Carroll's 67. He's going to be he's already the oldest coach in the league. I don't know if he'll coach more than 3 or 4 years. So he wants to get back to Super Bowl and win a few more. I can't imagine he would stay on if this was going to be a complete rebuild. So my guess is that I think this was just an off year, and I think next year we'll be right back at it, right back where we playing Seahawks football, smash mouth, punch him in the face type, dirty football is where we'll be.
I haven't checked, but I remember that Seattle did have a lot of really big contracts that were taking out a lot of their cap space. I don't know where they currently are on that, but that's kind of where I remember what the issue was last time.
Yeah, I don't want to turn this into Hawk Talk, but we have Cliff Averill, who's probably not coming back, big contract. Michael Bennett's probably not coming back, big contract. Cam Chancellor, neck injury, probably not coming back, big contract. Earl Thomas wants to be traded. He's getting paid $10 million a year. And Richard Sherman's coming off an Achilles, so who knows if he'll be back. So, I mean, even if you just cut those guys, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying we should, but if you did, that's, $70 million between a few players. So, I definitely think we're going to free up some contract space. Jimmy Graham's gone. Well, probably gone. So I do think we'll have a little bit of money to spend. It'll be interesting to see what happens, but to answer your question, Jeff, yeah, I think it was an off year. I think we'll be back. So if you'd like to talk more Seahawks football, feel free to DM me, and we can chit-chat about it all day long. Let's see. Jeff had another question. He also wanted to know, this is more of our topics there. He wants to know who our favorite capeless superheroes are. And who is our favorite villain? They can have a cape or not. So I guess we'll start with you. Who's your favorite capeless superhero?
Capeless superhero. I'm going to have to say the Flash is an easy one. Mm-hmm. But I think I've only really started getting into the Flash because of the CW TV show. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've always kind of liked the Flash, but ever since I saw the TV show, I kind of got into him. I'm going to say Daredevil is a good capeless one.
That's a good one.
And for villain that does not have a cape, man, I'm like, all the big ones that pop up into my head are like, Dr. Doom. Well, no, he's got a cape. Magneto's got a cape. I don't think Thanos has a cape, but Thanos is more, I don't know anything about him other than that he's in the upcoming movies. I'm going to say, does Darkseid have a cape? I don't think he's got a cape.
The villains can have a cape if you want them to. It doesn't really matter.
Oh, it could. Oh, whatever. No, I'm just going to go with good old Magneto. How about that?
All right, there you go. So my favorite capeless superheroes is, I've got a couple. Growing up, I always loved Cable. I thought Cable was a fantastic character. I'm really excited to see him in the new Deadpool movie. Cable to me always represented a character that was always kind of a cast-off. He had a lot on his plate that he had to deal with. He was super strong, but he had a virus that was holding him back. I like seeing these yin-yang characters where they're super powerful, but they can't use all their powers. And, they have great family, but they don't have a family, right? Great family history, but they don't have a family. And I just thought Cable was a great all-around kind of badass, honestly, in the X-Men universe. Wolverine's an easy one. Who doesn't love Wolverine? He doesn't have a cape. I mean, I loved Wolverine growing up, but I feel like that one's almost a cheat. Captain America, honestly, I've always liked Captain America, and especially what the MCU has done with him is nothing short of fantastic. So, if you don't, I'm a huge Superman fan. He's my favorite superhero. Obviously, he's got a cape, and if you had to pick the equivalent of a Superman-type character in the Marvel Universe, it's probably Captain America. So, love me some Steve Rogers. Let's see, as far as villains go, honestly, a couple of my favorite villains are... Let me think about this. Oh, I had one. I was thinking about it earlier, too. I've always been a fan of kind of the anti-hero villains, honestly. I've always liked Venom. I've liked
Carnage. Oh no, Carnage.
Carnage is a villain. Yeah, I've always liked Magneto. Let's see, who's my favorite? God, I had one just a minute ago and I totally forgot about it.
Sinister.
No, I like Joker. I like I've always really liked the Joker. I really like I like Lex Luthor. I'm a fan of these guys who are real smart and use their brains to outsmart people. God, you know what? It'll come to me. I had one that was just like, I love this guy. Totally forgot about him. How about Darth Vader? Love me some Darth Vader.
You can never go wrong with
Darth Vader is awesome. You know, honestly, my villains, I've never been into the villains. I've always been into the superheroes. The villains, to me, are take them and leave them. I know a good villain is needed for a great story, but I've always been about the superheroes, man. I like the people who rise above and do what they have to do for the right reason, right? Willing to give it all for somebody else. But
I think if I had to pick a villain from like the TV shows, I would say the Purple Man from Jessica Jones.
Yeah, he's a good villain.
I mean, he was probably like the best villain I can, at least from like a TV perspective.
Yeah, well, if there is a villain that I'm really excited about, but we'll talk about it in somebody else's question, so I'll bring that up there. But of course, if I think of any other villains as we go, I will answer it. But like I said, sorry, my answers are kind of like Sabretooth. He's a good villain. I don't know. I like the heroes way more than I like the villains. Darth Vader, great villain. All right, thank you, Jeff, for your questions. Chris Evar, good Chris from Washington. He would like to know, do we think there's ever going to be a Batman versus Predator movie? That was one of his favorite comics. That was a great comic.
Which one? Batman versus who?
Batman, yes. Batman versus Predator.
Batman versus Predator. Man, I really want to go look that up now and find out about it. But that sounds like it would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, it would be pretty... Well, the comic book's amazing. Real quick, are we ever going to get that movie? No, we're not. I mean, with Fox being purchased now by Disney, you're talking a Disney-Warner Brothers crossover movie? That's never going to happen. Ever.
No, never.
Nope. Never, ever. You would have a better chance of getting the Batman versus Spawn. There's another great villain, by the way. Spawn, everyone says
you have a better chance of Batman versus Harry Potter. You know, that's...
Yeah, I bet that could happen. I don't know if that'd be a good movie. Batman would just break Harry Potter in half and then move along. He would just immediately break his wand and then just walk away because that'd be the end. All right, let's see. What else we got here? David from Washington would like to know. He needs a vacation, no kids. He wants us to paint him a picture and give him an itinerary of what that would be.
A vacation with no kids.
I don't think Ryan's ever taken a vacation with no kids.
And I'm guessing my significant other is coming with me, right? Yes. I'm going to say I've always kind of wanted to go to Ireland and like Scotland. Not so much like England, but...
You know what? You are a man who has never gone on a real vacation without children because that is not what you should select.
No, I'm not a beach person. I'm not a like.
It's because you don't go to beaches.
Go to the sun and get, you know.
If you and your wife went 1 week with no kids to any tropical environment with all you can drink, you would change your mind. So I'm gonna take this one. Ryan thinks Scotland, Ireland. That'd be a fun little journey. I'm gonna say no kids. Here's what you do. You go to one of two places. If you want to just utterly relax and everything is awesome, you go to Jamaica. Pretty much anywhere in Jamaica, find an all-inclusive resort. It's got to be all-inclusive because you want to drink your ever-loving ass off. There's nothing better than tipping somebody at 9 in the morning at 20 and say, don't stop bringing me drinks until I'm face first in the sand. And they won't. And they'll just keep bringing you drinks all day long. And then you drunkenly stagger your drunk ass into the buffet line. You slop your plate with you don't even know what because you're wasted. And you just cram it down your pie hole. And then you sober up just enough to go back to your room for a, 2 o'clock quickie. And then you go back to the beach. And you get more drinks coming. And maybe you'll stumble into the pool and play pool volleyball with about 20 friends you just met. just met, and you'll talk them into bringing bottles of tequila to the pool, and you'll all do straight shots of tequila till 8 o'clock, and you'll pass out face first on your bed. And you'll wake up and do it all the next day. It's amazing.
See, that sounds fun, but I would still rather travel.
Or if you want to do it for a little bit cheaper and you want to do more excursions, go to Mexico. I personally prefer any place on the Caribbean coast. White sandy beaches, beautiful crystal clear blue waters. You can go snorkeling. They have some cool pirate ships you can go sailing around. My personal favorite is smoking a good Cuban off the back of a large catamaran while it's doing about 70 miles an hour in the Caribbean. It is fantastic. So there you go. That paint your picture, man. Get yourself someplace in the Caribbean. Go for a week. Obviously, you and the missus. Prepare to have a lot of fun. Nothing gets the marital juices flowing, if you know what I mean, more than no kids in the Caribbean. So you have a lot of that kind of fun, and you will have a ton of drinks. You don't have to worry about the expense because it's already paid for up front. Bring a lot of money for tipping. As few clothes as you can get away with, pack into your bag, and just can go. It is amazing. I'm going to be on a cruise in April, so woo! I'm already doing it. Anyway, that's what I say. Ryan says go to fucking Ireland.
Mine is go backpacking.
Go back. Okay, what sounds funner? Drinks and happy time with the missus, or backpacking and looking at rocks?
Beautiful rocks.
There's nothing beautiful about those rocks. I plan on looking at beautiful rocks, and they're not going to be outdoors. All right, moving on. There you go, David. Go on a trip. Let us know what you decide. All right, thank you for that. All right, Phil. Good Phil. We haven't heard from Philip in a long time. So, Phil, good to see you. I'll hear from you. He wants to know how exactly are they, I'm guessing Disney, going to introduce the X-Men and Fantastic Four into the MCU. He wants to know who we think should play Logan, and who is our most anticipated villain that the MCU now receives.
Who to play Logan?
I want Tom Hardy, but he's playing Venom, and rumors is that Tom Holland is going to be making a cameo in the new Venom movie, which would mean that Venom and Tom Hardy are part of the MCU.
That sounds pretty rad. It seems like there's like everybody's kind of getting into the superhero game, or everybody wants to get into the superhero game. I'm just trying to think of who can grow like the best chops.
Honestly, I think Wolverine's you know what? Everyone kind of gets hung up on getting a big name for Wolverine because Hugh Jackman, but you got to remember when Hugh Jackman was originally cast as Wolverine, nobody knew who the fuck he was. So I would honestly, I want to cast an unknown, maybe an up-and-comer, maybe somebody who's done a little bit of TV or something. But I want a short, hairy Wolverine, right? I don't want like a 6'3", good-looking Hugh Jackman. I want like the way Wolverine really is.
Yeah, you make a good point. And I'd rather
5'7", ugly.
Yeah, how tall was he? He was only like 5'5" or something.
Yeah,
right?
like 5'7". He is short. He's short. He's stocky, and he's just nasty. I want that. So give me an unknown, man. I don't care. Give me an unknown and put him in the yellow suit. Make him so hideous that you want to cover his face with a big Wolverine mask.
And then we have the Deadpool crossover.
Yeah.
And Colossus grabs Wolverine and throws him. For a cannonball.
That actually, funny you bring up Deadpool, that actually kind of brings me into how can they introduce the X-Men and Fantastic Four. First, I do believe the Fantastic Four may get introduced before the X-Men because they're easier to introduce. They're much more of your typical MCU type superheroes. You could easily bring in the first family into any Avengers movie or whatever, and then they could get their powers while they're in the cosmos. You could even introduce the Fantastic Four during the Miss Marvel movie because it's going to take place in space. There are lots of ways you can introduce them without having to create a whole. I mean, the X-Men aren't just the X-Men. The X-Men is an entire, subspecies. The mutant gene. You're talking thousands of people.
The X-Men is going to be harder because there is no mention of mutants. Whatsoever in the MCU.
So you're going to have to start.
Fantastic Four, they'll be able to, like you said, they've already established the galaxy, the universe, the space universe. So Fantastic Four can easily just kind of slide in through there.
Yeah, exactly. And I think if I were guessing, if you want to bring the whole universe in without having it start over, you're going to have to do reality. You're going to have to bend reality. You're going to have to probably do something with the Infinity Gauntlet, the Reality Stone, or you're going to have to introduce like a multiverse and then crash the multiverse together, which is also something that could happen. A character that could actually do this whole thing, tie it all together, is actually Deadpool. Deadpool is the only self-aware character. He has jumped universes and dimensions multiple times. He could very easily you could tag him in a post-credit scene, and you could see him trying to swear, and all of a sudden it's bleeped, and he's like, oh no, wait, what's going on here? What the bleep? Oh god, they're bleeping me. He's like, oh no, you know what this means, don't you? They did it. And then he does a Planet of the Apes scene where he's banging his hands on the ground, and instead of the Statue of Liberty, it's a statue of Mickey.
They've turned me into a PG-13 movie.
And then you just pan up to Captain America and Thor looking at him and what the hell is that guy doing? And then you just kind of do it. So I think that's the way you should do it. As far as the villain that I am the most excited about of all the villains is Dr. Freaking Doom. He is one of the greatest villains in the Marvel Universe that they have not ever done right on screen ever.
If anyone's going to get it right, I think that Marvel Studios will get it right at this point for Doctor Doom. So
yeah,
that's what I'm more excited about. I'd rather have a really good Venom, a really good villain.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Thanos, it's been, it'll be interesting to see him, but he's been such a behind-the-scenes guy for so long that I want just a Doctor Doom that's just going to come straight out,
Yeah, no, I agree. He's such an interesting character because there's just so much there. He's this massive narcissist, and he's kind of, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that you could do that could be very topical to what's going on in the world right now with Doctor Doom and his Country of Liberia. And he's just a really powerful villain, too. He's very layered, very multidimensional. You could have him, honestly, sprinkled throughout a ton of Marvel movies and tie him into a giant event. I think he would be a great character. So I am really looking forward to Doctor Doom. And plus, he runs around going, Doom, I am Doom.
I'll come and get you.
Aye, you will bow before Doom. You dare speak of Doom. And he's got his Doom bots, so they could easily kill Doom over and over again, and it's never the real Doom. It would be great. So, I don't know. I'm very excited for Doom. All right. Thank you very much, Phil. Appreciate your question. It's good to hear from you. All right. We got 3 left, so we'll try and knock these out. Einer, it's been a long time since Einer's hopped on. He, I believe, hopped on our inaugural show, and we haven't heard from him since. So good to hear from you, Einer. He wants to know gas versus diesel.
Gas. Oh, wait, no. For cars?
Yeah, well, I'm just guessing in general.
I have gas, but my dad has a diesel truck, and that thing's fucking lasted for 200 million miles, so I'd rather get a diesel.
I know you get much more miles to the gallon on a diesel, but God, I hate the smell of diesel, honestly.
Yeah.
It's terrible. You're sitting next to a diesel, just
you can't turn the car on all the way. You gotta, turn the thing and then wait.
And they're super loud. So if I'm going to say gas versus diesel, I'm probably just going to go gas, personally, but I'd like to throw in one more. I'd like to say electric. I want
I want to get
a Tesla.
Yes.
Gas, diesel, or Tesla? I'm taking a Tesla.
And then I want a Serenity spaceship that I can fly.
There you go. Solar panel cars. That's what I want.
And then after that, Star Trek transporter.
Yeah, the problem is I have a trailer that I go camping with. I cannot pull it with a solar power car, at least not yet. So... Anyway, all right, let's see what do we got here. Brian from Washington would like to know. Let's see, his daughter Kylie wants to know what our favorite dinosaur is. Her favorite dinosaur is a Triceratops. What is your favorite dinosaur? First of all, thank you, Kylie. That is an excellent question, and nobody, believe it or not, has ever asked me or Ryan what our favorite dinosaurs are. So thank you for asking.
my son Lincoln is 10 years old, and he'd been wanting to be a paleontologist ever since he was like 2.
Mm-hmm.
And his favorite dinosaur is also a Triceratops, so you can't go wrong with the Tritops. I'm gonna say my favorite dinosaur is the oh god, I can't remember. I found it flipping through my son's dinosaur book, and it just looked really cool. It's not a Utah raptor, but it's kind of like the Utah raptor.
Mm-hmm.
But it looked pretty rad. I can't remember the name of it. I'm going to have to ask my son. He's going to shout it in my face. But I like those I like the carnivores. I would say T-Rex, but they're overdone. What about you, Brian?
Well, I was looking for the official name of the dinosaur. My favorite dinosaur comes from the land before time, Spike. I love Spike. The little dinosaurs with the little club tails.
The Ankylosaurus?
The Ankylosaurus. The Ankylosaurus. My favorite dinosaur is the Ankylosaurus. I was real angry when they got fucked up in Jurassic World.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't say the F word because Brian's probably showing this to Kylie. So Kylie, yeah. I'm very sorry that I said a bad word.
Yes. Do not repeat what Brian says.
No, I'm going to go rinse my mouth out with soap when this is all over.
Brian is a very bad man.
Probably true. But yes, my favorite dinosaur is Spike from Land Before Time. I just thought they were always pretty cool. They got the hard shells and those big giant freaking spike balls, and they just swing them around and knock things out. So
yes. So, Ankylosaurus, I'm going to go with Utah Raptor because I can't remember the name of the one I was thinking of. So
isn't that like a basketball team? All right, thank you, Brian, and thank you, Kylie, for your question. We very much love talking about our favorite dinosaurs. All right, and last but definitely not least, we have Kristen. She came with a great question. In fact, this is a question that I've never thought of, never been asked, and these are my favorite kind of questions where I have to actually think, and sometimes that can be very difficult. So she wants to know, what is the speed of darkness?
The speed of darkness?
Ooh, darkness, Ryan. What is the speed of darkness? This is like a very science question, but it's also kind of like, it seems kind of gothy. This is
the speed of light.
The speed of darkness is only measured in the sadness of my soul.
Speed of darkness, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that the Flash can outrun the speed of darkness.
Yes, that's true. Well, technically, so thinking about this, I pondered it for a moment before we started the show. So technically, what is darkness? Darkness is the absence of light, right? So the moment light leaves, darkness would arrive. So you could say that if light moves at the speed of light, that darkness would also move at the speed of light, because the moment the light moved and there was no more light, you would have darkness.
Well, you only get darkness because the Earth is rotating on its axis away from the sun.
You get darkness because, no, you don't only get darkness because the Earth moves. Because if the Earth was gone, you'd still have some light because the sun's here. Darkness is the absence of light, Ryan. So she doesn't want to know how you get darkness. She wants to know what the speed of darkness is.
I'm just trying to think of a mathematical formula. I'm going to say E equals D squared.
I'm going to say the speed of darkness is how fast I can hang up on Ryan and the screen goes dark. Come on. What are you, Einstein? You're trying to rewrite physics?
I believe so, yes.
Theoretical mathematics?
Theoretical and everything, because
88 miles per hour. That is the speed of darkness. If you hit 88 miles per hour, you go dark.
I'm going to say it is 2 billion miles per hour.
All right, well, I think it's actually faster than that.
Meters per second. Because
I don't know, what's the speed of light? I'm going to ask. Hey, Siri, what's the speed of light?
Okay, I found something on the web for this.
All right, so the speed of light is 186,282
we don't want no light.
miles per second. What?
What's the speed of darkness?
I'm going to say the speed of darkness is also 186,282 miles per second. There you go.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah. Because darkness and light are equal. They got that cool little symbol, and they're like equal, like the yin-yang thing, so clearly they're the same speed. And that's science, people. That's how that works.
Everyone learned something on this.
Well, thank you, Kristen. We love science questions on here, and like I said, I always love a question that I have never thought of before, and it's pretty cool.
And now we know.
Now we know. We need that doo-doo-doo with the little rainbow, like the more you know.
Yeah.
All right, well, there you go. Well, everybody, thank you very much. You guys were awesome. You came with some amazing questions. Hopefully we answered them all. If not, feel free to hit us up in the comments below. We also would love to hear your guys' answers, so hit us up in the comments or go back to our Facebook page and leave your own answers. And if you would like to converse more, hit us up there. Or, like I said, message us. We'd be more than happy to carry on the conversation over comments or over our social media. But thank you guys. Hopefully we'll have the show back up and running in sooner than later. If not, we'll try and do a couple of these small shows in between, so you guys don't forget about us.
Yeah.
Don't you forget about me.
Little bite-sized episodes.
Yeah, little bites. Well, this wasn't really bite-sized, but smaller than our normal shows. But thank you guys very much for joining us, and we will return, I promise. And until then, you guys stay awesome.
Later. Miss you, Brian. I miss you. I want to pinch your cheekies.
God.
Pinch your cheeks.
My cheeks are so pinchable. In the meantime, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, at GeekDadReport. Find me on Twitter, BrianWest53. You can find him on Twitter, Big Bruiser. And, or you can call us. A lot of you guys have our phone number. You can text us.
Yes.
So send us a smoke signal. You can send a mail, like through the U.S. Postal Service.
And just don't do it while I'm in my class.
Or an email at geekdadraport@gmail.com. Shoot us an email.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Man, you need to go to bed. Until next time, you guys, stay awesome. We'll catch you on the flip side.
Stay nerdy.